We on? We on? Okay, cool. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the 10th edition. We made it to number 10. Welcome to the 10th edition of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Dre-Theo. I go by AT. I go by Dre-Theo. I go by Dre. And I probably have more nicknames yet to come. But we here. As you can see, we here, man. We doing it. 10th episode of Trippin with Theobold. Now, I must apologize. You know, this is coming out on a Friday for you one listener. Where that one listener might be me and shit for now. But, I'm at work. I got a lot of work shit going on. A lot of deadlines coming up. And, I was grinding through Thursday yesterday and I couldn't find time to do it, so I'm doing it today. It's Friday right now. So right now it is 2:41 p.m. where I am recording this from. Man, whenever I start, I swear every time I start recording, my nose itch, something itch, I gotta sneeze, my skin itch. Damn. There's got to be some sort of like study that needs to be there needs to be a study that needs to be done. I said there needs to be a study. There needs to be a study where people, you know, they look at when people record all the little elements or all the little fuckeries that come around. I don't know what I'm saying. There needs to be a way to quantify like what happens whenever you record, because I feel like every time I record, my nose itch, something itch, you know, something's out of place. But when I don't hit the record button, everything is cool. So anyways, what we got going on, man? So welcome to the 10th episode of Trippin with Theobold. I said that like 10 times, so let's go ahead and move on to what we are going to talk about. So as y'all know, the show is called Trippin with Theobold because I trip in thought and in speech. I trip, like I be tripping, like I literally trip and I figuratively trip, right? So when it comes to my speech and shit, you know what I'm saying? I grew up with a speech impediment. And some of y'all might not be able to tell, but I have like some remnants of it, you know, and I might have a little hiccup here and there, you know, and, you know, so I literally trip in speech. And when I do mess up in this podcast or wherever, I'm just going to be like, man, come on, Dre, you know, cause I gotta call it out. You know what I mean? So, that's one element of the show. And then the other element of the show is like, I trip in thought, you know, like figuratively, I figuratively trip in thought. Right? Like I have a lot of crazy ideas. I think about a lot of shit and I'm very unorthodox, you know, and I don't care. All right. So that's why the show is called Trippin with Theobold. All right. So, moving along, let's go ahead and get to the say what portion of the show. Let me try to go back and reframe that, 'cause I kind of thought about something I was going to do. I don't know how this is going to turn out or what it's going to be, but just this is how I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to be like, everybody, and welcome to the say what portion of the show. So that's kind of like what it looked like back in the day when I was trying to talk. Sometimes like I couldn't get my vocal folds to close and all this air would come out and it would look like I'll be choking on my words and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, it didn't quite look like that, because like it looked a lot more stressful than that. But that's kind of a derivative of what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, the say what portion of the show is where we talk about everything speech impediment related. So let's go ahead and get into it. First, let's check in. All right. So, yeah, this past week or maybe like last weekend, you know, I was going to. You know, I went to a comedy show with a comedy friend of mine or whatever, you know, and I had my mask on, right? And it was like a special event joint. And I had my mask on the whole time. and like the chick I was with, she didn't realize like that I was like having a little trouble with the speech or whatever, right? Because we were we were at the table and shit, like waiting for the show to start, and I think what it is like I can't like change my tone without. It's weird, right? Like when I intend to talk, I'm fine. Like when I'm like not afraid to speak and say what I need to say, and I'm just projecting, and I know that people are listening, everything comes out perfectly fine, right? But when I'm trying to like hide something or when I'm trying to whisper some shit, it's like that's when all the distractions start coming around, right? Like I'll start hearing like the ice crusher in the back. I'll start hearing other conversations. Like I turn into like Professor X on X-Men. Remember when like he'll like plug in to talk to all the mutants and shit, and you hear all them voices? It's kind of like that's what happens with me, right? So all those sounds compete with what I'm saying, like when I'm trying to whisper and shit or talk low. And when I was talking low, I had my mask on, and I was under the mask like double clutching and shit. I'm double clutching and like and it was very. So if I didn't have my mask on, she'd be like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? But the fact that I have my mask on, she ain't know. So I might need to wear this mask. Like if they don't have a day where they say, hey, no more masks, I might be wearing my mask like indefinitely, cause that should be covering me up, man. Like I can play that shit off. Anyways, what else we got going on, man? So now that was that. What else was I gonna talk about? I was gonna talk about something else with the with this say what speech impediment shit. Like I have so many ideas, so many things to talk about. I just can't I can't keep. I gotta write stuff down better. I mean, I have an outline that I follow, but it is what it is, man. We gonna do what we gonna do. What was I gonna say though? You know what? Let's just move on, man. So that's the say what portion of the show, where we just kind of check in, talk about shit, anything speech impediment related. I might have a story or something from way back when. I know I was gonna talk about. So yeah, I was gonna talk about this. So when I was younger, or even like, a few years ago, right? Like if I had like a situation where like my speech didn't work out, or something didn't come out the way it was supposed to come out, like sometimes people will laugh or like giggle in your face, and I used to get offended by that. But I realized like that's just a natural reaction. Like people weren't expecting it, so it's like when it happens and people kind of laugh or giggle in your face, like it's nothing to really get mad about. It's like that's just a natural thing, because it's like it's not expected. And truth be told, what I'm saying? Like, I remember there was a few people that I met in life that had a speech impediment, and they had it worse than me, or they had it to where I could like, figure out that they had one. And when they said it, or when the thing came out, I kind of giggled too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm guilty of this shit. So I just learned that, hey, when people kind of laugh or giggle in your face when it happened, you got to just roll with it and be like, hey man, come on, Dre. Right? That's how you got to be. You just got to call it out and just own it. But there are people that are assholes with the shit in life, man. Like no matter what you do in life, they're always going to bring it up. Like they're always going to try to like hold you down with it. And those are the people I don't fuck with. Pardon the language. I'm sorry. I need to work on using better language, because if you want to make it to TV, you got to say the words that they want you to say, right? You got to tap dance and do all that fetch and step and fetch mumbo jumbo or whatever, right? But anyways, now I had a few people in life, man, that used to like they were like my nemesis, man. Like they always tried to hold me down because of that shit. Like whenever I came around, the first thing they would say is they would either like make fun of how I spoke, or they would say my name and like stutter my shit out and be like, oh, there's Andre or whatever, right? And they would like laugh and wait for my reaction. And I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, like, do you even want me to even be here? Because I mean, based on your attitude and what you're doing, this shit is not conducive for me to even be around, But But yeah, I had maybe like 5 people in my life, man, that used to like oppress me with the shit, you know? Like it's one thing to go through what I was going through, but then to have 5 motherfuckers that always would like put their foot on your fucking neck, you know, the whole time or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And just keep it there and not let you up. You know what? Man, to hell with them. You know what I mean? So I'll probably talk about some of them dudes later and shit, or people later in life. But right now, let's go ahead and move on to the DFS portion of the show. So now we're gonna talk this DFS talk. Gotta get my phone out and shit. What we got going on? So okay, whatever. Okay. So here we go. So I already picked my lineups, right, for both baseball and hoops. So the thing about DFS, right, if you don't learn anything else from this show, learn the following. You gotta babysit your lineups, man. This shit is sad, man. You got all these dudes out here playing for all this money and the love of the game, right? But yet they want to load manage, or they got a little sore pinky, or they got a sore pinky toe, or their stomach don't feel good, or they got a little headache, and these dudes don't want to play, and they'll drop out at the last second. So you gotta, when you pick your lineup, see, it's like there's like a dichotomy to this shit, right? Like if you pick your lineups too early, it's real easy to forget what time your competition starts, and what happens then is half your lineup will just sit out and you won't even know it, and then you won't even make your points, and you won't make any bread that way, right? Or like when you try to pick your lineups like too close to the time of when the time starts, you might not have enough time to go through and do your analysis, you know what I'm saying, to pick the players that you want to pick. So what I typically do is I try to find that sweet spot time in the day where I say, you know what, let me go ahead and reserve my lineups and just kind of go through a rough estimate of who I'm going to pick or who I picked, just to have a shot at winning some money. And that's what I do, you know. And you got to be careful too, because if you wait too late, you might not be able to even get in those lineups. So you have to also use your phone alarm. You have to set alarms to remind you to go back and double check your lineups to make sure that, you know, these dudes gonna be playing when they say they're gonna be playing, right? So it's work, but you know, hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do to get this bread. You know what I mean? So anyway, let me go with the baseball. So I'm doing the baseball tiers 3K solo shot, right? Let me see what the contest number is. This is just the MLB tiers 3K solo shot. There's roughly 3,500 entrants or entries, and starts at 4:05 p.m. today, which is like about an hour and 11 minutes away. So by the time this is uploaded, you're come on, Dre. By the time this shit is uploaded, or by the time this video is uploaded, you will probably have already seen what the results are. So I'm just telling you who I went with, right? So in tier 1, I went with JD Martinez. Tier 2, I went with Rafael Devers. I think it's Devers. It's only one E. It's not two E's, right? So, but I feel inclined to say Devers, but I think it's Devers. I went with Aaron Judge in tier 3. Then I went with Tim Anderson in tier 4. Playing against he's playing at home against the Rangers, and I ain't heard nothing about the Rangers pitching. So, you know, whatever. I think Tim Anderson, based on the data, is going to go off. Actually, I wanted to see the home run pattern. Let me see what his home run pattern is. Ooh, yeah, I'm not fucking with that, because I'm trying to get guys. If you hit a home run, that's like 12 points in baseball, right? And it's real hard to score double digits in baseball. So the fact that he's never had back-to-back home run games, even though he's batting 342, I can't mess with that. Let me go ahead and swap him out with somebody else. So we got Ryan McMahon. Let's take a look at his game log. His home run pattern's looking more probable. It's looking more like he has 5 games without a home run, but he's playing against Philly, and Philly got pitching, so I ain't fucking with that. Or I'm not fooling with that. I gotta stop cussing so much. Then we got Pete Alonso for the Mets, batting .231. He already had 2 games back to back when he hit a home run, and he hasn't done that all season, so not gonna mess with that. Then we got Jose Ramirez going up against the Yankees, and who's pitching? Montgomery's lefty. Okay. His pattern is looking kind of favorable, but he has a streak where he can go. So he's gone 2 games without hitting a home run, and he can go like 7 games without hitting a home run, and he's only batting .219. So, probably not gonna mess with Jose Ramirez. Trevor Story, again playing against the Rockies. And he has no home runs for the whole season, so definitely not picking him. Then we got Ozuna. He's only batting .206, going up against Arizona, and it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he has 8 games without hitting a home run. He's only hit 1 home run all season. Who's pitching for Arizona? Weaver. So you know what? I'm probably going to pay for this, but Tim Anderson has better. You know what? Tim Anderson's been kind of hot. Like he has like 4 games where he was in double digits, and that's what he's been doing all season. But that's it. Other than the 16 points he put up against the Angels, and he has no back-to-back home run games. So I think I'm gonna go with Marcell Ozuna at home against Arizona. Let's look at the weather to make sure that there's going to be no rain bullshit, because when the rain happens, man, they just sit everybody, and I'm not trying to have no rain out. So, okay, partly sunny skies, I'm with it. So I'm going to go with Marcell Ozuna. See, so let me go back and revisit my other picks, right? So we have JD Martinez, who I was going to go with. 3 games without a home run, and he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games without a home run. So, I'm probably not messing with. Even though he's hitting .361, and he's playing Seattle at home, might not mess with that. So let me see who else we got. Wow, Mike Trout. DraftKings need to get their shit together, man, because they had him in the lineup batting or whatever, like 3rd or 4th or whatever order he bats in, and I was gonna pick him, but all of a sudden he's day to day with that elbow hit. And besides, he's going up against Greinke, and that's going to be a hard. Like, he can hit home runs off of Greinke, but I'm not taking them odds. It's going to be, you want to get easy points. That's the thing. You want to get easy points, right? And you get the point. Let's look at Byron Buxton. Byron Buxton been playing, man. Shit. This dude's batting .432. Like, them Cuban numbers, man. .432. Man. And he's never had a game. Well, he had 1 game where he hit back-to-back home runs. And he's at home against Pittsburgh. And I don't think Pittsburgh has any pitching. So I think I'm going to go Byron Buxton. And then Freddie Freeman is the other guy in Tier 1. He's only batting .222 at home against Arizona. His last 2 games he played were without home runs. And he can go like 8 games without a home run. So, I'm probably going to go Byron Buxton with this one. So let me go ahead and say that. Oh, yeah, and when you're updating your lineups, make sure you save as you go along, right? Like, you got to treat your lineups like Microsoft Word, because if you don't, any work that you don't save will go unsaved. And then you got to go back and remember what you picked and why you picked who you picked or whatever, right? So, but you guys get the point. Let's take a look at Rafael Devers. So I picked Rafael Devers. I like this a lot. I like this pick a lot because he's at home against Boston, and whenever he hits in the 20s or 30s, he always follows up with a game in the teens, and it seems like he has home run clusters where he just goes on streaks where he'll have like 4 games with home runs, with at least 1 home run. and he's just starting. He's just starting a home run streak or whatever, right? So I like my odds with this. I'm going Rafael Devers. He's batting 279 at home against Seattle. Lock him in. So I'm sticking with that. Take a look at Aaron Judge. Judge is batting 241. I like this too. Like he hasn't. Excuse me. This is the longest streak he's been at without hitting a home run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games without a home run. Typically, he hits a home run every typically he'll have a streak of 4 games without a home run. So I'm gonna stick with Aaron Judge in this one. Yeah, I'm liking my lineup right now. Then who else we got? Let me hit save again to make sure that my changes are not lost. So go back in. And then who else we got? We got man, Josh Donaldson been playing, man. Look, he's hitting 556. 556, man. That's ridiculous. But yeah. That's crazy. He's hitting 556. And he only has 1 home run on the season, which he hit last week or a few days ago. And that's it. So I'm thinking he's gonna stay hot. I'm just gonna stick with Josh Donaldson. Let me just see who else is in the mix. Got Matt Olson. He's already coming off of a home run game, so I'm not messing with that. Ramon Laureano, 206, 1 home run, not messing with that. But he's playing against Baltimore. I'm not taking a chance on that. Alex Bregman, 326, 1 home run on the season, playing against the Angels. Then you got Carlos Correa. Yeah, these guys they're not really hitting home runs like that. Michael Brantley, 2 home runs on the season. Ozzie Albies. Yeah, I'm sticking with Donaldson because that 556 average, you got to take that. 556, you got to take that average. And then tier 6, I'm going with Wilson Ramos. I got to kind of speed this up because I'm already at 22 minutes. But yeah, we got Wilson Ramos. And let's see what he's up to. Wilson Ramos. Yeah, I'll just stick with Wilson Ramos. I looked at his point pattern. Home runs. He had 6 home runs on the season. And he's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games without a home run. I'm gonna go ahead and stick with it. He's playing at home against the Royals. I don't think the Royals have superb pitching. Maybe they do. I gotta look at the data more. But that's my lineup. I got Byron Buxton, Rafael Devers, Aaron Judge, Marcell Ozuna, Josh Donaldson, and Wilson Ramos. And the pot is, what's the top prize in this joint? Let's see what the top prize is. Come on, DraftKings, update my shit, man. What's going on? Okay, now it's taking forever to update. See, I be thinking that, when you pick a lineup that's probable to win, they start doing little glitchy things. Like they start making it real slow to update your lineup. Stuff starts freezing. They put in the old random lineup that you put in at first. Nah. Okay, let's go X out of here. Let me take a screenshot and then go back and verify once I come out because I got to make sure I get this bread. Okay, that. Yeah, that's all there. That's what I wanted. Payout structure. Top prize is $300. So if I get $300, I'm moving up to the dollar joints. I'm putting in a quarter to win $300. That's how this shit works. Moving on. So let's go to NBA hoops now, right? And let's look at the hoops. So I'm going to start at the bottom because I kind of did my analysis beforehand, right? So typically what I did so I'm doing the NBA tiers, 10K and 1. Okay? And payout structures like this. I put in $1. First place prize is $1,000. And then you have all the other tiers that you get anywhere from $500 to $5. So So for the Celtics, right? The Celtics are playing the Nets today, and who is it? So Kemba Walker's out, Jaylen Brown is out, and my gut told me, hey, let's go with what's his face? Let's go with Jason Tatum. But I looked at the numbers for Tatum against the Nets, and I'm like, nah, I'm not fooling with that. So I was trying to use process of elimination, but yeah, nah. So the only player I'm going to really analyze are the tier 3 and tier 1 players, because I did all the other homework already for this. So for tier 6, I'm going with John Collins because Trey is out. See, I be forgetting these players' last names sometimes. It's embarrassing because I know these players. I don't know them, but Trey Young. I said Trey Williams. Yeah, Trey Young is out. So yeah, Trey Young is out. So I'm only going to analyze tiers 4, 3, and 1. So I looked at John Collins, and when Trey Young is out, John Collins can go off. So he can get you in the 40s, high 40s. In tier 6, that's not bad. Tier 5, I'm going with Michael Porter Jr. Just trust the data. All right, I already did the homework on that. Let's take a look at Bam against Atlanta. Do I want to go Bam or do I want to go Christian Wood? So Bam against Atlanta. What does he do typically? Okay, his high against Atlanta is 70 points. With the same ranking in the past. And at 44 is looking pretty, wow. Yeah. So there's that. And he's coming off of a game where he was out. The next game he hit 48. So typically when he hits in the 40s, 50s, 40s, 56, 40, 54, 40, 58. Yeah. So looking at the long-term data and the short-term data, I think Bam Adebayo is a dude to go with. Yeah, Christian Wood is going up against the top-ranked front court defense. So a first-ranked or top-ranked front court defense. So got to go with Bam. Then tier 3, Damian Lillard. You got to know when to pick these cats. So are we going to go Damian or are we going to go CJ? Because you can't pick both, or you got to pick one or the other. So let's take a look at Dame. Dame against Memphis, his career high of fantasy points against Memphis is 54 fantasy points. Right, 54. He's coming back off of 3 games of being out. So he put up 38 points last game. So 38, mid-30s, okay, 48 afterwards. Mid-30s. What else? Mid-30, 57. What else do we have? So long-term. Mid-30, 71. Wow. Okay. But let's look at the Red. He's playing against the Red. So at home, come on, Dre. At home against the Red, meaning that it's a top-ranked defense. We got 20, 54, 61, 40, 37, and that's it. Let's take a look at CJ's numbers. So CJ against Memphis, his high is what, 50, 52? No, 55. Okay, 55. The shooting guard ranking is yellow. So he's coming off a game of 46 and 36. So 46, 36. What comes after mid-30s? Okay, 41, 40, 36. 51. Yeah, we got to go. Okay, so far it's looking like Dame Lillard, because he's putting up like 50s afterwards, and 50s versus 40s. I'm always gonna go with Dame. Well, not all. You got to look at You got to be able to see when Dame's going to go off or when he's going to fall off. And when he falls off, that's when you pick CJ, because they're not a good. If you look at the line star data, they don't have a high correlation when it comes to scoring points, right? You can't pick them both at the same time. So let's take a look at Paul George. PG. Ooh. So when he come back from rest, we're looking at 61, 50, after one game of rest. 40, 42, So the key is, or the question is, the key is if they blow Houston out, is he gonna sit? That's the real question. And his high against Houston is 68. Yikes. So, I'm gonna go ahead and take a chance. Like anytime you see 60s, you got to go ahead and take that. I saw a high 50s, 60s versus Dame Lillard's mid to low 50s. You got to go PG, and he has a better opponent rank. So we're gonna go ahead and go playoff P with this one. Let's take a look at Jimmy Butler, right? So Jimmy Butler. So I already went with Bam, but I want to see what their number correlation is, right? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Top assist combo. Jimmy Butler 60, Bam 21. Okay. Now, all we need is Jimmy to play and see what happens. So, Jimmy sat out against Atlanta all year. And, but his max against Atlanta is 61. Actually, it's 66. A career high is 66 points. And he's away at Atlanta in the red. He's coming off of 2 games rest. So coming off of 2 games rest, and I gotta stop messing with my nose and shit. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna say it on YouTube because I don't want to incriminate myself. But anyways, let's keep moving on. So we got 2 games rest at home away in red against Atlanta. 45. What comes after the 40s? So after 40s, it's 43, 39, 49, 43, 44. It's like he's hanging out in the 40s. Once he hangs out in the 40s, it's like he kind of stays in the 40s. Yeah, look at that. 43, 37, 44, 56. But let's see what he does after 2 games rest. After 2 games rest, the second game is like significantly better. So he's already 45. So, yeah, Jimmy Butler's a wild card in this one. He always looks. So in all games, in all situations where he's coming back off of 2 games of rest, his second game following 2 games of rest is significantly better. Like it's like 3 times better to almost 2 times as better. So, who else am I picking from here? We got Beal. Right. We already said we're not messing with Tatum. And let's take a look at Beal just because. See what Beal's doing. Beal hit 53 last game. When he hits 50, he kind of goes down. What comes after the 50s? Yeah, he dips after the 50s. His career high against OKC is 72. But since Westbrook is there, all the offense is going through Westbrook. So, 53, 53, 53, 54, 42, 55. Yeah, I'm going Jimmy Butler, man. Got to go Jimmy Buckets. Yeah, got to go Jimmy Buckets. And it's a divisional game. So there's that. And Westbrook, I didn't even look at these. Man, I got to pick up the pace on this joint. Who else we got? We got Jokic, Westbrook. See what Jokic is doing. Because with Murray out, that means he's going to be picking up the slack a little bit. So he had a bad game last game for him, which is 44 points. Whenever he scores in the 40s, what does he do afterwards? 65, 39, 74, 62, 58, 57, 61, 42, 47, 67. Okay. Let's take a look at what is his career against Golden State. His career high against Golden State is 66. Let's take a look at Westbrook. Ooh, he's playing against OKC. He might try to make a point. Ooh, revenge game. Revenge game. Yeah. Yeah. Westbrook gonna put up 112. That's my Theobold prediction, man. He about to light these boys up. Because he committed to them. He gave his heart and soul to OKC. And they just said, nah, they just cut him loose. So I think he's gonna put up some crazy points on these dudes. He got something for that ass. Yeah, he's coming off a 60-point game. What comes after 60? 69, 68, 94. Yeah. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Away in Green too, and he's in OKC. Oh yeah. He's like, you gonna remember me, bitch. That's what you gonna remember me, bitch. That's what he's saying right now. Oh yeah. Nah, he about to go off on them cats. Lock it in. I'm not even looking at Steph Curry. I'm not even looking at Kyrie. Even though Harden and Durant are out, I'm going Westbrook. He making a statement in this game. So there you have it. That's my lineup, right? For T1, I got Westbrook. T2, I got Butler. T3, I got PG. T4, I got Bam Adebayo, hoping for that high assist combo with him and Jimmy. Then tier 5, I got Michael Porter Jr. And then tier 6, I got John Collins with Trae Young being out. So hopefully I have $1,300 by the end of the day. So there we have it. Boom. And I'm going to set an alarm. This is the key point. You got to set your alarm, because if you don't set your alarm, you're going to forget. And that's when Jimmy Butler will do some shit like sit out because he got a tummy ache or something like that. And I ain't got time for that. I got to get this bread because they got their bread. I got to get my bread. You know what I mean? So let me set this alarm right quick. See, the first tournament starts at what time? 4:05. So let's set it for like 3:59 is when we're going to set it. 3:59. So it's what, like 42 minutes? Yeah. So we'll start that. Timer going to end 3:59. So boom, we got it set. All right, so we're good. So earlier I meant to talk about my Nationals hat, man. Like, I'm a Nationals fan, if y'all don't know. Let me get a sip of water because my throat's getting dry, and man. All right, so y'all may not know I'm a Nationals fan. I've been a fan since 2005, since our inaugural season. I got the hats in the closet to prove it, but I'm not gonna go ahead and do it. I'm not gonna verify all that because who you? All right, it's like, I'm a Nationals fan, been a Nats fan. I was at the first inaugural game at RFK Stadium against the Mets in 2005. I cut class in grad school to go see that game, so I know. But had a little bit of, it was weird, man. Like, the Nationals won the World Series in 2019, like right before COVID hit. And in retrospect, like, I should have went to one of them games. I'm glad I didn't go to any home games, right? Because I was going to fly home to DC to catch a World Series game. But the weather was bad. I know I'm making excuses, right? But the weather was bad, and the tickets were going for like $1,000 a piece for standing room only, right? So they was trying to just get as much money as possible. So when you say standing room only, that doesn't mean that you might not even get to see the field, right? So I didn't want to fly all the way back and pay $1,000 for standing room tickets only to try to fight my way to the front to see like what was going on, because really all you were paying for was just a chance to get a glimpse of the field with the Nationals being on there, right, in the World Series. And the Nationals didn't win a single game at home in that series. That was hilarious. So all those people paid all their bread to see the Nationals lose 3 games on their home field, you know? So I'm glad I didn't do that. But I wish I would have jumped on these one tickets, or it was standing room tickets only, but it was for Houston, right? And I could have got a plane. Like, I looked at all the money or whatever, and I could have went down there for like less than I was thinking about going down there for like less than like a total of like $1,600. And I was literally just gonna go to the airport. I wasn't even gonna pack a bag. I was just gonna wear my hat, wear my jersey, you know, fly down there, get to the stadium, see if I could see the field, you know. And at the clinching game, like or one of the games that were there, people left early, I think. And it would have been dope to go to one of those games and just get a picture of the shit, you know, and say, look, I saw my team, you know, win the game. But you always want to be at the game when they clinch, you know. So I remember, you know, I think the clinching game, I think a lot of fans got up and left. So I could have like easily walked down and got a seat, you know, towards the end. But who knew that COVID was gonna hit, you know, because that would have been a way to end out the shit before COVID. And then, you know, now here we are, right? But instead what I did was I took like a couple $100 and I bought like Nationals championship gear. Like I bought t-shirts, I bought the championship hats, I bought the World Series hats, I bought all that shit. So I got it all in my closet. So that's my little, I guess that's my little treat to myself, you know, with my Nationals winning the World Series in 2019. But they probably not gonna win the World Series again in my lifetime. You know, if they do, that would be awesome. I'm there, but it's probably not gonna happen again in my lifetime. But whatever. I don't have a big hole in my pockets because of the World Series and shit. So let me go and stop rambling about sports. Let's go ahead and get into some, because we've been talking for 40 something minutes and I'm not even like halfway through this joint. So let's go ahead and move on to the news section of the show, right? So this is where we kind of talk about the news or whatever, and we're just gonna kind of pepper things up, you know, kind of pepper the shit and just kind of like skim over it. But this past week we had the Chauvin verdict. He's guilty, as he should be. And I felt sad, man. Not because of the verdict, but I felt sad at people's reaction of the verdict. You know, I felt sad because I felt like for something that was as clear as day that was wrong, people acted like Steph Curry hit like an impossible baseline jumper shot or some crazy long 3-point shot to win the championship. And it's like, it shouldn't be that way, right? It's like, nah, when you do shit like that, you're guilty. It shouldn't take all this TV coverage and anatomy and physiology to determine that the dude was wrong for kneeing on this dude's neck for 9 minutes. You know what I mean? So we'll see what the actual sentencing is going to be for him, but whatever. You know, this country got a long way to go. That's all I got to say about that. Then Brett Favre came out and said some real questionable, not even questionable, he said some real foul shit. You know, he came out and it almost seemed like he was trying to take sides with Derek Chauvin, you know? It seems like, you know, because the gist of his comment basically was, I find it hard for him to, or Brett Favre said something along the lines of, I find it hard to believe that he meant to kill Chauvin. Well, okay, true. We don't know what's on a person's heart, but the fact that this dude had no remorse, like he looked like he had no remorse for this dude's life. It's like him being negligent. Like even when he was on the scene, there was never this oh shit moment. Like, oh shit, I just hurt this dude. Oh man, he's gone. It was like, I'm just doing my job and oops, I took a knee on his neck and oh well. That shit is disgusting, man. You know what I'm saying? So with Brett Favre, I think that's either, hopefully that's the CTE talking, or that's the painkiller medicine that he OD'd on back in the day talking, man. Because no one in their right mind with a conscious, like, heart, or with a conscious being is gonna say, yo, like, disgusting. I can't even. Yeah, nah. And see, there's a lot of people that think like Brett Favre, and that's the problem too in this society, man. Like, a lot of people um think that way. You know, that's a shame, you know? Um but anyways, I mean, that's neither here nor there, man. Whatever, yo. Like I said, this country got a long way to go. Not sure if we're gonna get there. Um Whatever, I'm just like, maybe I'm a pessimist, maybe, I don't know, maybe things will get better, but right now I don't have any hope. All I know is I gotta look out for me first. Right? So that's that. Um and then, man, all these hip hop artists, man, are just dying, man. Like, what's going on, man, in the hip hop world, man? Like, today I just found out that Shock G passed away, man, from Digital Underground, man. Man, young dude, like, 50s. Like, to me, 50s is still like young. Like, you're supposed to still be. That's not dying age to me. So maybe lost DMX, Shock G, Black Rob, MF Doom. Shit. So I don't know what's going on, man. The one thing I kind of thought about or whatever was, like, aside from hip hop or whatever, it's kind of interesting how, if you look at, like, influential people in life, it's kind of interesting how there seems to be, like, a correlation with the amount of time they live, the amount of time that they live versus, their impact, right? So, like, the more impact a person has had on society and culture, it's like the less or the shorter their life, And to me, like, you can go back and look at everybody, like Martin Luther King. You can look at Tupac, Biggie. You can look at like Nipsey Hussle. Like, those dudes were, like, influential, like, really influential. And it's like, the more influence you have, it's like the short. I don't know. I'm just saying that's the kind of trend I'm seeing, or whatever, at least, which is scary, But let's go ahead and get into the man. Voice is getting a little dry, a little hoarse. So let's go ahead and get into the sympology section of the show. I gotta get my daily water. Make sure I stay hydrated. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the symbology section of the show. So, I want to talk about being in the friend zone, right? I've come to the realization that being in the friend zone is not so bad. Like, back in the day, or even a few years ago, I used to think that, man. I used to be like, man, fuck the friend zone. I ain't trying to be in no chick friend zone. Because if you in the friend zone, you don't get the yams, But what I've learned is, or what I've gained or deduced about myself is, you have to be able to manage your friend zoneness, right? You have to be able to manage, like, being in the friend zone, Like, to me, it's like, I'm cool with being in the friend zone, but when a chick is talking about who she's smashing openly, and I'm not smashing on a regular basis, I'm not gonna want to hear that shit. So typically, like, I'm not gonna cut a chick off or make a big deal about it if that's the case. But what I will do is I will fade. I will fade away from that chick, until I get my numbers up. And when I get my numbers up, or until I'm smashing on a regular basis, that's when, I'll come back and be like, oh, hey, man, it's been a long time. Man, I just been busy with work. I've been busy with my purpose. I've been busy just trying to knock out these goals I have in life. But, I'm at a place right now where, I got a little bit of extra time on my hands. How are you doing? Right? That's kind of how like I roll with that, right? So that's just me in a nutshell. That's one thing I found out about me, is that if I'm like smashing on a regular basis, and if I'm in a chick friend zone, even if she's talking about who she's smashing out in the open, or is like telling me what she's doing with somebody else, I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm over here getting it in with some other chicks or whatever and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm good. I'm not gonna put it out there like that, but it's just a mental thing, Maybe that's corny, but that's me. I don't give a shit. That's who I am, So ladies, maybe this is something that you can take, right? Maybe if you're around a dude, and if you got a dude that's in the friend zone, and if you're talking about who you smashing with the dude, and then the dude runs off or whatever, or like fades away from you, maybe that's a sign that he ain't smashing like that. You know what I'm saying? Right? Or maybe if a dude hang around and you talking about who you smashing, and then if you gain interest in that dude all of a sudden, and he's still hanging around listening to you, maybe that's an indicator to let you know that, hey, he been getting it in. So I'm just saying, that's kind of like little things you can probably use to deduce what the situation really is. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's that. I want to talk about a situation I was in a long time ago. So if you look at my channel, I have these little snippets I had in the past called Simptuations, and I stopped doing just Simptuations because like a lot of people thought they were funny, but some people like were kind of like disgusted or whatever. I don't know what it was. It just felt weird, but I'm still gonna cater this little segment of the show, because I think it's a good idea to reflect on situations of the past, so we can all learn and grow as men, right? So to continue on with the friend zone theme, when I was in college, I think this was like my third year in college, I came across this one chick, man. She was real cool. And like I said, me on this channel, I don't oh yeah, by the way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? Jam up the comment section with shit, so, maybe you can help me figure out another topic or things to talk about for my next show. So, but anywho, following with the friend zone theme, there was a chick in college, in my third year of school. I say third year because I was a super senior and I was undecided freshman year. So whatever. So yeah, I was probably in my fourth year of college at this point, right? But there was a chick that I was like cool with, and I would always go by her room. Not all, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week. I would go by her room, you know what I'm saying? And we would talk about just everything, just life, and hey, what's going on with school, and this, that, and the third. And she never like told me who she was smashing or whatever and shit, but I was like, yo, this chick is real cool, and by this point I done struck out with so many chicks in college that I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try to be cool with females and just be friends with them, and then maybe when we leave out of school and we all like become a little older, maybe if you maintain that relationship, then maybe that can grow into something else, right? I was wrong about that shit, but whatever. But anyways, I would go by this chick room maybe like 2-3 times a week, and then she would come by my room maybe like twice a month, but whenever she came to my room, she wanted to borrow shit. Like she wanted to borrow my go-go CDs and shit, because I love go-go music and I have a lot of go-go CDs from all bands or whatever. And she would come by my room and ask to borrow some go-go CDs. One time she came with another friend of hers, and we had like a little go-go listening party and shit while I was studying or whatever. But anyways, that's kind of like the dynamic, right? Like she would come to my room to borrow shit. I would go to her room just to like talk or whatever. And see what's good, So I'm thinking that like we cool, like we tight, you know. And I remember one day, man, she was getting dressed to go to this party, you know. Um, and in our dorms there was like, you know, there was like these suites, right? There was like a suite side, there was a suite, there were suites on both sides of the dorm for one unit, and there was like a kitchen area, right, with like an island countertop or whatever. It was a nice dorm, right? But anyways, the bathrooms were like big, right? And you had like these big long mirrors or whatever. And I'm in her room, uh, like looking at some homework or something like that. And then she's in her bathroom getting ready or whatever, right? So she's putting on these clothes or whatever, and then she's like, "Hey, she's like, yo, Dre, come in the bathroom real quick. I want you to tell me how I look, you know." So I came in the bathroom and she looked good. So I went in the bathroom and I tried to be on some smooth Don Juan shit, and I went to the bathroom. She was dressed or whatever, right? It wasn't like no freak shit or nothing like that. She just invited me. She was like, "Hey, tell me what you think. Do I look alright?" And she's looking in the mirror and I'm looking into the mirror, and I was like, you know, I said, you know, you look good, but I said you look better with me though, you know, or I said something to that effect. And she turned and paused and got mad as shit. She was like, "Don't ever say anything like that to me ever again. Ever. Or we're not going to be friends." And I was crushed. I was like, "Man, so you mean to tell me like there's not even an opportunity, like there's no chance in hell that, you know, down the line that we might not even work?" So I was devastated, man. That shit hurt because I'm thinking that, you know, I'm not saying that I was trying to like lead up to anything. I'm just saying that down the line, maybe in the clear blue, maybe there's a chance, but she wasn't feeling that. So, but the way she reacted was like, that shit was painful. It was like the worst thing in the world to like bring that up, you know? Um, so after that, like I stopped going by her room like that, and we just weren't friends no more after that, you know? So that made me think I got this little fucking fruit fly flying around here and shit. This motherfucker. But anyways, what the fuck happened? So, um, where was I at? Oh yeah. So yeah, after that, like we just kind of all communication was like cut off or whatever. I haven't spoken to her since, you know. And she's not a bad person. She just, you know, we just have different tastes, I guess, right, or different things that we want or whatever. Um, but nah, but what this made me think about the whole concept of who do you want to be seen with, right? Like that's something that I'm very keen to now, right? Like there's some chicks that, or people in general, right? Like if people don't mind being seen with you in public, then this motherfucker, damn, this motherfucker is fucking with me. I don't have a nasty place. It's just we get little fruit flies and shit that come in this joint, and that's life, you know. But anyways, what I learned was about that situation. Where was I at again? For the third time, was yeah, it's just the notion of people being seen in public with other people. You know, like one thing I pay attention to is, will a chick allow themselves to be seen in public with you? And if so, that's cool, right? So now like I'm cognizant of where I'm like interacting with women at, right? Like if I'm always going to a chick house or a chick place, and like and whether we're smashing or not, it's like if I never have hung out with her in public, then I'm kind of like, I know what the deal is, right? I'm like, you know what? This is just I'm some secret nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But you just gotta know. You just gotta, and then you have to say, look, okay, then you have to be able to balance out. You have to then be able to balance out, you know, your expectations and your attraction level to the chick, right? So let's say, for example, if like if I'm hanging out with a chick that I think is like a 10 or like a 9, and I'm really attracted to her, and I feel like we have good chemistry, but if we never hang out in public, there's a reason why we're not hanging out in public. You know what I'm saying? So I might put like a little test out there while to where like, we might go hang out somewhere, or I'll be like, hey, come meet me over here. And if she's like, oh, nah, I'm busy, I can't make it over there, then I kind of know, okay, this is what it is, And I know not to put a lot of expectation into that interaction, If we smash and beat, cool. Like, I'm cool with that. But I know that it's easier for me because I know it's not going nowhere, And like I said, I'm red pill. Yeah, I'm down with the red pill life. So all I do is date. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier for me. But if a chick, also on the flip side, if I'm hanging out with a chick that I'm cool with or whatever, and if we're hanging out in public or whatever, and I know that all I want to do is date, maybe she's thinking, yo, this might be something more. So I know how to kind of manage that expectation where I'm like, you know what? Maybe don't hang out with her so much. You know what I'm saying? I got this rule, man. Like, my rule is that if you smash a chick more than 4 times in a month, you in a relationship with that chick. So if you don't want to be in a relationship with that chick, you gotta you either got to get your rotation built up to where it's like you only smashing maybe like once or twice a month, and then you got people in between. You know what I'm saying? Or you just don't smash at all and just wait till you get your pipeline built up. You know what I mean? So that's that. I'm not saying I'm always going to be in red pill land. Maybe one day I'll come back to purple pill land, but right now it's like, with the way society is going and just how I see things, it's like you got to be red pill if you a dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, that's it for the sympology section of the show. Now let's move on to the comedy bumps. All right, we're going to round out with comedy bumps, and then we're going to say what's coming up next. So last week I talked about my experience with the Iowa comedy competition thing and all that. You can go back and watch episode 9 to get that story or whatever. But today's comedy bump kind of chronologically happens after the comedy competition, right? So I meet a good friend of mine, like, that I'm still friends with to this day, my homie, my dude Sharp. Brilliant comedian, man. Super funny, man. Like, just, man, this dude, like, he just has like so many mediums that he's funny across, man. Like, he can do it with music, making beats. He can do it through art and making pictures and jokes. Just, he's very brilliant minded comedian, man. And I'm glad I got to like study underneath him for the time I did back in Iowa. But this comedy bump kind of is like I want to have things set up to where I can do these comedy bumps, but do like a talk where it's like multiple people, right? Like, I wish Sharp was here to actually come on, Dre. I wish Sharp was here to actually reminisce about this comedy bump, because he probably remembers things that I forgot, which would make the story a whole lot funnier, But anyways, long story short, this comedy bump, basically, me and Sharp, I don't care what anyone says, me and Sharp were like the founding fathers of the comedy scene open mic in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Like, we were the ones that actually were we were the ones who actually got this shit popping, Like, we met at the Penguins comedy open mic back in like 2007, I think. And he saw me do my joke. He's like, hey, man. He's like, man, you're funny, man. You want to meet up and write? I was like, cool. And then lo and behold, I didn't realize that this dude had like credits and was like doing big shit. But just a good friend, man, real good friend. And afterwards, once I did the contest or whatever, or the competition or whatever, we were trying to go, we used to meet up at this like coffee shop, me, him, Moffitt, and Huggins. We used to all meet up at this coffee house, and we used to like work on jokes and like critique each other's like stuff or whatever. And that basically turned into like me and Sharp hanging out and then trying to go out and trying to start up other open mics. So I remember at the time there's only like one open mic. It was the Penguins open mic. And then we were like, yo, we got to try to build up a scene to where we can like work out material and stuff. So we went to the Piano Lounge, which then became the Vault or whatever. And I think that was like one of our first places that we went to. We went down there and we spoke to the manager. This is like when things were like new. Like there was no open mic at the Piano Lounge. So we went down there and we were like, hey, can we talk to your manager? And they were like, yeah, I'll be right back. And they brought the manager out or whatever. And then we're like, yeah, man, we're comics, whatever. We do comedy. We make people laugh or whatever. And we're trying to figure out your slow night to where we can help you make money. Like, right? Like we can actually bring the equipment. We can like get an open mic started to where we can actually bring business in, And I remember that like me and Sharp didn't have any business cards or anything. So the manager or the owner of the lounge was like, yeah, sure. Do you guys have a business card? And then Sharp was like, wait, yeah, 1 second. And he grabbed a napkin and had this marker and started writing out his contact information on this napkin. And it was like bleeding and shit in the napkin. And he folded it up and just gave it to the dude. And the guy was like, oh, okay. And we never heard back from him, And then we went around to other bars, other places to try to get the mic started or whatever. And we couldn't get mic started. Well, so we got maybe like 1 or 2 open mics like started out there. But the real person that helped us out when it came to getting the mic started at the Piano Lounge was this guy named Hoagie. And he was a drummer, he was like a well-known drummer in the area, and he taught drum lessons to like all the like students or whatever in Cedar Rapids. So he had an in with the Piano Lounge, and he just was like, yo, I'm doing a mic or whatever, right? And they did whatever he wanted. He did whatever they said. So he started up the open mic because he wanted to actually, try comedy or whatever. And he did it for like a couple months or whatever, and then it got to the point to where his business started picking up, and he wanted to like focus back on drumming again. So he handed it off to me and was like, yo, Dre, man, you funny. I like what you do. I like your style, but I can't do this anymore. So now it's your mic, right? So then he handed it off to me. And that mic was probably one of the most successful mics in Cedar Rapids, like on average, it was like a show, like on average, we got like 20 comics in Cedar Rapids on average. And then there were some nights where there would be like 40 to 50 people or 40 to 50 civilians in the audience, so it was like a show. So it was like, we got to actually test out half-baked material on an audience in a show to help build confidence, and that was probably one of the better moments in my life or whatever. But the comedy bump basically was the fact how me and Sharp were just going around to all these bars, and people like didn't really want to really work with us to try to help them get a mic started. Like it was real hard just to get an open mic started, but at the end of the day, like there was a period where Cedar Rapids and Iowa City was like popping. It might be popping now because I don't live there anymore. But I remember, man, there was a time when like there was like 5 spots where we could get up 5 times a night. I mean, not a night, 5 times in a week, and then some spots you could get up like 2 to 3 times a night, So I was actually at the beginning of that where there was only one mic in Cedar Rapids a month, right? It was one mic a month and you only got 3 minutes. And then we built up this thing where it turned out to be like 4 to 5 nights you could get up. And then on top of that, you could like get up multiple times in one night, So moral of the story is it's when people don't know who you are and they don't like see your numbers, it's hard to go to a venue to ask them for a slow night to say, hey, look, can we build something for you to to help your business out and help us out? Is there a chance for collaboration? And that's what I learned. And to me, and not even to me, but like Sharp was like respected by all the comedians in Cedar Rapids and Iowa City combined. Like like people just knew that when Sharp came through, Sharp was the alpha dog in the room. Like Sharp was the dude that nobody could fuck with on any level, you know? And it just showed me that no matter how skillful you are in the game, if people don't know you like that and you don't have good representation, it's hard to really get anything to stick, to build anything, you know? So, and like with Hoagie had a good like, see, Hoagie wasn't even a comic. Like, he was a drummer trying to do comedy, you know, but he had a reputation of being this great musician in the town, and people just like gave him the keys to the shit, you know? But that's how it is sometimes, you know? So I think that wraps up my my comedy bump story for the week. Next story I'm probably gonna do is it's kind of around the same time, but the next comedy bump is I got a lot of comedy bumps, man. I might either do the I might do the Michael Winslow story joint. I don't like naming names. I'm sorry, my bad. I might do that story, or I might do what's the other comedy bump? I might do the second Penguins comedy competition. Yeah, I'm gonna do the second Cedar Rapids King and Queen of comedy competition. That's the next one I'm gonna do, because that was a hard bump. That was a hard pill to swallow, you know. And Sharp was right there with me at that time. So, anywho, so coming up next, I ain't got shit coming up next. I'm still waiting on my date with this competition I'm doing. Like I said earlier, my other videos, I advanced to the next round of this competition that I'm doing. So once I find that out, I will plug it on here. And then what else we got? Oh yeah, one more time. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know, put some comments in the comment section, or ask some questions, and maybe I'll do a show where I address what was said, you know, in the comment section. But other than that, like, I don't have anything coming up like that yet. I got just open mics, working out new material. And next week is going to probably be my last episode for a couple weeks, because I will be going to Buffalo to handle business at the end of next week or early May. Yeah, I gotta fly back east to handle some business. I'll be out there for like 3 weeks. I might do an episode out there. I might not. I don't know. But I have so much going on in Buffalo where I don't think I'm gonna have the time to. But you never know. But I'm just giving you a heads up in case, you know, you don't hear from me for a while. So you'll know why. But with that being said, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, or I've been your host, Andre Theobold. Like I said earlier, I go by AT. I go by Dre-Theo, or I go by Dre. Probably got more nicknames coming. But thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Make sure you give this video a like. And with that being said, I think that's it. So I'm out. Peace.